This is a short video on how to make the introductory section of your online package effective, efficient and engaging. I'm using John Medina's 10-minute lecture as the basic format. He's a cognitive psychologist, and what he basically said is that don't make these lectures too long. He talks about 10 minutes. I'm going to try and keep this down to about 6. Most importantly, at the beginning, you've got to get attention. It's called a primacy effect. So get across the key purpose, the goal of the learning. And hopefully this will connect and learners will see that it's worth listening to. As you move through the content, remind them where they are, make connections, help them to develop a good mental model in their mind to build understanding. And at the end, like a good detective movie, bait the hook, leave them with a question, leave them with some incentive to move on to the next segment, because it's going to be exciting. It's a bit like a first date, and you may remember your first date. I'm not going to tell you about mine, it's too embarrassing. But if you don't get a good first impression, you may never get a second chance to impress or a second date. So, key things to get across the learning goal, because people want to know, what am I investing my time in? So for you, you should be able to produce an effective, efficient, engaging introductory segment for an online package. You can read the specific learning outcomes yourself, but as you can see, they're all bound up with that main learning goal. And if you don't get that, well, you may just miss the boat, so to speak. So, are you ready to proceed? Now, what makes a good online first impression? Well, think about your first date. Is a few in this context based on research. The key information that students need to know now, so that they can get started, not giving them an information overload of, well, it's going to be this and it's going to be that, etc. Make sure the navigation is easy, user-friendly, crucial. That gives a bad first impression if people don't know where they're going. The purpose of the learning, as we mentioned, make it meaningful to the students. Great way to get attention and interest, and a positive presence. Lively, friendly, fun really helps. So, what do they need to know at this introductory stage? Well, it depends on what they are already have access to. If they've got a lot of information on learning management system, well, they might just need some reference to key outcomes and navigation issues. 2 key things to do well, of course: make the learning goal outcomes clear, good visual representation, show its relevance to real life, real work context, and some advanced organizer, a summary guide. We'll say a little bit more about this later, and how they should go about doing the work, the activities in the package, and some key things that will help them learn the content effectively. Now, positive presence online. As in life, certain things apply. Particularly important in an online environment. Expressive, clear, crisp, sharp. What I'm trying to do now, friendly tone, quite fast, concise, some variation in modality, bit punchy on key points. So don't be monotonous, high-pitched tone, slow. It has negative perception. Research shows this. Again, in videos, don't stand there like a BBC journalist in the 1950s. Use some gesture movement. And a big one, use smile. It's massively powerful in terms of affecting people subliminally. Lovely quote from Atty and Yates. Definitely a big factor in personal presence in all environments, and especially online. So what is an advanced organizer? Well, I've already given it away, haven't I? It's a kind of summary in advance, and what it basically does, it gives the learner, the student, some organizing frame. It's a bit like having a road map. It's been noted to have an eye effect size relatively to the amount of time that it takes to provide, so do use that. I think I provided one earlier. So where are we now? What's next? Well, hopefully this short video will give you some key content knowledge about what to do, but ultimately you've got to do it yourself, and that requires deliberate practice. So this is what deliberate practice requires you to do. Read it yourself, otherwise my voice is going to get a bit boring, but you can say you've got to try it out, make it evidence-based, get some feedback, learn from that feedback, and over time you'll get good at it. So get the first impression right. Next meeting's much easier, like your second date, providing the first one went well. And we'll look at where this goes in terms of developing the relationship in a future video.